Hi, everyone. Welcome to the African Hummingbird Podcast. Today, I'm here with, I'm Stacy. I'm here with,
Sharon. What's how could you introduce? Is that a sign?
is it?
Is it? We'll have to know towards the podcast.
So today we are doing an episode which is very, 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 very special,
Sentimental.
sentimental to us. Because sadly, or not sadly to some people, this is the last episode
Of the season.
of the season.
Indefinite season one.
Indefinite season one.
Yeah.
So after this episode, we'll take a break. We don't know how long it will be,
Mhm.
but maybe sometime in future we will come back to it.
And
Mm.
a few weeks, months ago, nilitweet nikiuliza, like why I never usually understood the concept of seasons. Like why do you need a season? Alafu an online friend akaniambia so that the hosts can take a break. And in my head, because it is you just take the break. Why do seasons have to be involved?
Yeah.
Now the tables have turned and it's
Because
I
we
who
need
needs a
break.
break to pursue other things outside of the podcast and
Yeah.
reading books.
Natural, guys. Natural.
Relax.
If you're looking to host a episode sometime in the future,
Yeah.
text me,
DM
call me,
DM
call
the
me,
page.
DM me.
Like, oh hi. But nimekumbuka we had to have a guest. Aitwa nani?
Which one?
Georgie was supposed to come. And here we are taking a break.
So, guys,
Anyway.
we had this, or rather, I had this very ambitious goal to have Georgie Ndiragu
Mhm.
on this podcast. I reached out to him and he responded saying he would love to come to the episode. Mbona ninaeka pause. He would love to come to the episode. But then again, I didn't reach out. We did follow up because life. But
Happened,
I'm
yeah.
sure that someday in future I'll
Mhm.
have him maybe at a better place. Maybe it would be in video format or an audio format. But
You'd have like a whole studio. We rent out Airbnb for the nice visuals.
or maybe my house. Yeah, but I'm saying I reached out to various guests. One of them included Georgie,
Mhm.
some of my friends
Yeah.
who are outside of the country. Actually,
Were they supposed to come?
yeah, Zach is supposed to come, but now this is the Zach. Ukisikia hii, I'm so sorry.
Itabidi. Kuna
But
this video ya mafadhe na madhe. Naomba mni understand.
so many people, kina Festo, kina Zach,
Yeah.
Brian, who else? There's this guy, Victor.
Kuna marafiki wengi.
Hata wewe.
I don't think I promised maybe 3 people. You can come.
Those are a lot. Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but we shall see next time after the break.
Yeah, but yeah. Why are we taking a break, Sharon?
Next question. We are taking a break because we need one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also one of us is leaving soon.
To go where?
Mtu hataezi tembea tu kuzunguka hii nchi kujua huku zinafanyika aje.
Yeah.
But I'd rather not share. But I am the one who's leaving.
Yeah.
So it's like we can't run a podcast when we are in different places in the country.
For now.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. But it has been such a good run. How many episodes
Why are
have
we
we done?
feeling all of a sudden emotional?
I thought we were
You.
gangsters. We were gangsters.
Mm.
Actually, I think before we get into the review of how the experience has been, we can talk about how we started the podcast. When was the first time that the idea of a podcast crossed your mind? Because, guys, for context, Stacey is the one who actually initiated the conversation about the podcast. So when was the first time that you thought, I like books, maybe I can talk about them and yap about them on a platform?
I don't know the exact moment,
Mhm.
but it's something that I've been mentioning to my friends because I
Yeah.
remember Sharon and I used to take these walks
Oh,
or reading.
that was such a good time.
Yeah, bike riding or walking in Karura.
Mhm.
And I remember me asking you, would you ever be a podcast or a YouTuber?
What did I say?
You said you would. You said you know. because you're not an internet type of person.
Eh.
I said me, I would, but it won't be visual.
Oh yeah,
But what I'll talk about is the only time I'd run a podcast, because mine was clearly not vlogging, was when I talk about things I like
Yes.
books, maybe, just maybe, fitness. But fitness, I don't think I'm like good at that.
actively.
Yeah, exactly. So also I had mentioned to Daisy about a podcast before. Daisy is my friend. So it was just something that I used to say.
Yeah.
Then there was a time Mochori, who is our sound manager, studio owner, and the enabler of this podcast, he saw so in my TikTok, I reviewed this book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Then he saw it, and the idea of a podcast came up. Yeah, because ever since, I think it was last year around October 2023, around October.
Yeah,
because it was like, where sufungue YouTube,
Eh.
sufungue podcast.
Yeah.
And he was so insistent. Hadi me, I'm like,
yeah, alikufuata
brother, really, niko like, I ngoja next month,
next
next month,
na
next
ndio mwaka
year,
inaisha.
2024. So because I don't think I didn't prioritize it, so I didn't like give much thought to it, because
Yeah.
the resources, it needed money at that time for the equipment and things
Still
like
does.
that. It still does. But Mushiro was like, you know what, me have everything. We kuja tu na akili yako, and we do this thing.
Yeah.
And it was my first time to be exposed to a microphone. Clearly, I wasn't going to do it alone. So who's the person I rent? My dearly beloved.
My
Sharon.
lord. So niko hapo kama placeholder for the
Placeholder
guests.
for what?
Actually, acha
No.
nikwambie. I remember the first conversation ilikuwa, oh yeah, naenda kurecord podcast na mtu.
Do
You want to come? Nikwambia wana record wapi? Ukasema along wherever, ukasema the location na kadhalika.
But then we have to
should shout out the location. Yeah. We usually record at Feliz. Not Feliz Place.
Yes, Feliz Place.
It's along Kiambu Road.
Yeah.
And it's right next to Ruby's Indigwa.
Yeah. So
it's a really nice spot.
It's a really nice spot. So shout out to Mochori for offering it. And
exactly.
Mochori's friends, they know themselves.
You come
you for enabling us to shoot at this place for like 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Almost half a year.
Yeah.
From January, actually.
Yeah. So it's like 7 months now.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful place. The chapo is amazing in the morning. But
I feel like tumekula chapo kila siku.
Yeah, because it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And also it's at night, it's usually like a night local club where you can come have your beer or two.
Drinks, cocktails.
And have your friends over. It's a very intimate space.
Or watch a game.
Or the Olympics.
Like, it's Olympic season.
Our screens.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you, Muturi and Kina Peter by extension.
Yeah, so when you texted me ukaniambia, oh, do you want to come? Nikasema sawa, sina kitu ya kufanya. Mi sina mashughuli Nairobi. Nikasema sawa. And I remember that day, you were quite anxious.
I was.
And I remember I was so easy because in my head, it's like, it's not my podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not carrying the burden of the emotional, like whatever, something.
Yeah.
But I think like having a conversation is easy, especially if it's your first time, compared to just talking about books.
Also, when microphone is ahead, when the microphone is on your mouth, unaweza pata, because there was no point in my life where I used to use a microphone. So for the first time, it's like, I was anxious for sure. Yeah. Because you know also that talking to your friend helped. Exactly. Yeah. Also knowing that it's going on a public platform. Na sikuwa ready for all that. I know. Anyway, and that's how it has ended being. I came for the first episode. Even though iliendelea after the first episode. Yeah. I'm still here, episode 10. Yeah. But another, is it 10? Oh, actually it's 10. I'm thinking about my personal podcast. Okay. Yeah, it's not 10, it's more than 10 for sure. So
let's talk about a recap of the episodes that we've had. First of all, we've had let's talk about the guests, because those have been a fundamental part of keeping the wheels moving.
Yeah.
We've had, I think, 3 guests.
Yeah, we've had 3 guests,
Mhm.
namely Anne Nene, Brandon Roro, and Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have listened to 2 episodes. I'm so sorry guys, like mnisamee sijasikia moja ya ilikuwa Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to that one. I think I'll go and
Naona alikublock. Anyway.
it's such an inside joke.
joke.
Hey, my lord. Mimi na Andrew Kibe.
Brandon, block again.
Oh my lord. Niseme
Anyway,
hakuna haja.
Yeah. But you can just say
Okay, so in simple terms, like one of our guests,
Brandon.
I remember I was on Twitter, alafu naona Stacy amejibu mtu.
Yeah.
X now.
Twitter
amejibu mtu. And I'm like, oh, why can't I see this comment? Like, oh, you cannot see this, blah, blah, blah. But luckily,
Yeah.
Twitter has a way that they can show you the name, but you can't see the tweet. So I searched on the name manually. Ghafla bin naona ukuta. You know that meme ya mtu akiongelesha ukuta hivi? That's exactly how it felt. Like, niko happy. I'm like, I've never interacted with this person ever. Nika screenshot, nikatumia Stacy WhatsApp, nikamwambia, let me see if I can find those texts. But ilikuwa such a funny conversation and situation to be in, because I asked Stacy, mbona nimeblokiwa? My lord. Anyway, I ended up being unblocked. I asked why.
After my intervene.
Stacy intervened. Akamtext yeye mwenyewe akamwambia, hey, why did you block my friend Sharon? Anyway, that was a funny story, but still, Brandon, thank you so much for passing by the podcast.
Yeah.
It was such a lovely day hanging out with the group on that day.
So Anne was our first guest, and for some reason Anne thinks she invited herself. Because you remember her coming here, whatever.
Or she was just coming to the location.
Yeah, to just hang out.
Oh yeah, Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Or before she recorded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, hata mi nitaka kukuja. No, my words were, Anne, you can come. Feel free to come.
Yes.
And discuss
anything. Yeah.
I don't know how Anne registered that. She invited us to the podcast. But anyway, thank you so much, Anne, for that.
Yeah. I really enjoyed
the episode.
Yeah.
It was rather a business-ish
perspective.
Yeah, perspective.
I think also because
even majority of the friends who give me feedback were like, they gained more business side
insights. Yeah. And why I liked that episode is because of the fact that you don't like those types of books, because you're talking about 48 laws of power.
I really don't like it. Because even the one that we've recorded,
you are a hater. You're the problem.
Yeah.
We have just recorded an episode reviewing a book, and says he had no good thing about it. No good thing to say about it, except the font, but the font, you only had like the number of pages is a good number. That's literally all you had to say.
No, wait. You'd have to listen to it.
I was there, so I know. But yeah, so I enjoyed that episode because like nilikuwa zile za, I feel like I am listening to Stacy be uncomfortable. I cannot say uncomfortable. Like I know Stacy doesn't like these things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I like that you are also learning things here and there.
Oh yeah.
Getting some information based on the book that you know you would never read.
Yeah. But it's not that I hated the book and its principles. They still stand. But I just feel like he put it in a not a nice way.
Pleasant
way to read.
Mm-hmm.
And did that book sell quickly because of how he wrote it? Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ni kama ile ya sitaki kuanza kushit on other people's books pia, but kama ile the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I think that's also one of the books that actually sold
because of
the style of the passing and the boldness.
Yeah. So
yeah,
smart move.
I guess so.
I guess.
Yeah.
So even the Seth episode, It was enlightening. A few insights here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I have failed the team by not inviting any of my friends to the
Do you
podcast.
have friends, Sharon? Do they read?
That's the question. Do they exist? Do they exist? I promise, guys, I have friends. I don't think many of them read, but I would have easily like brought them to talk about something.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have friends who read. I don't know why. I think ilikuwa nasema Q3 ndio ituko break. Anyway, now that we've spoken about, do you want to add anything about our guests?
Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Najua ilikuwa pro bono, but thank you for
Ulikuwa unabaya
gracing
lunch?
us. I think so. Did I? Yes, actually.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mambo ya dunia, yaliyopita si ndwele.
Guy, but I owe Anne flowers though. Now that you.
Oh yeah, but she got flowers a few days ago, so you need to like maybe prepare a week and then.
Doesn't matter.
That's not cost.
So it's giving stock a rest. But Anne got okay from her status, but still.
Oh, why is it in my mind?
Why?
Yeah, but those flowers are really pretty. Hiya.
For real?
Yeah, it was. I know you don't like red. I like the shape. I like the shape.
Potato, potato.
Yeah. Rats. You hate a lot of things, but we've accepted you as you are.
Guy. That's a lie to the man who thinks.
Low blow.
I don't like.
Hiya. Now that we have recorded, I think maybe, has it imefika 10 times?
13. Yeah.
We probably had this recording like 10 times.
Yeah.
What has been is there any book that stood out that we spoke about?
Yeah. I think the one book that I really, 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 really loved and it blew my mind in a way was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Such a well-written book.
Yeah.
Such a complicated yet not so complicated. Such a page turner. I really loved that book.
I have a question before you go on.
I finished reading it.
That's not the question.
Okay.
It actually is. It's a page turn. But do you turn the pages till the last one?
No, but I heard the audio. I finished it audio. Audio. I really loved it. And also, I didn't know about it, but it really sold out Sana. I think Netflix was also planning to make a movie out of it.
Oh, that would
7. I don't know if it's a movie or a series, since each chapter should have like
an episode or something.
An episode. So I don't know how
limited
long
series or
it is. But as I normally say, the book is always better because I'm so sure if it's a movie, obviously there are so many parts that will be left out which are in the book, and I feel they are so nice to read and know and critical also.
Sounds similar to reading a book that we've just reviewed, whereby you read something and you wonder, it would be nice to have this information.
Oh yeah, true.
Anyway, being a hater is a full-time job. Yeah. Nonetheless, for me, I think I enjoyed the Confessions of Nairobi Men.
Yeah.
And it's because it's one of the first books that I
finished reading.
Finished within the context of the podcast. Please, not in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And also because I really enjoy. We have just spoken about Confessions of Nairobi Women, and one of the things that I mentioned in that episode, which you should go and listen to, link in the description, is that I felt like I was reading about people I don't know because it's men, it's the men species, the male gender. So I don't know much about them. So like reading those stories were like, I know these things happen. It was just pleasant for me to read about people, about stories that I wouldn't see a man narrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed talking about the book with you. And I think you also just shared some insights on how it performed on Amaseyo.
Yeah, it was
on YouTube. Yeah. For context, like we also do upload some of our episodes on YouTube. And it's one of the episodes that actually did quite well. So if you are a consumer of podcasts on YouTube, have a look at that out. Yeah. Another thing, what else should we talk about? Recapping. Is there any more popular episodes or books? Our admin at the back end Discuss the most popular episodes or books based on the listener feedback.
I think the most you mentioned,
Mhm.
the one which we had lots of consumption both in Spotify and YouTube was Confessions of Nairobi Men.
Mhm.
Also the Ngugi wa Thiong'o one.
Oh, with Brandon.
Yeah, it really did well
Ama
on
yetu.
Spotify.
Mhm.
Brandon,
Oh, okay.
you too good. You ready to discuss?
I did.
Oh, not decolonize. Oh,
Bruh. We were literally.
not decolonizing the mind.
Mhm.
The river between.
Yes.
It's also doing well on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
What I noticed is the Kenyan one are really doing well.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, but so far so good. I think
Mm-hmm.
the numbers are okay considering we don't push
Oh,
our content that much.
may I ask why, Stacy?
Are you putting me on?
Oh my lord. I can answer that question.
Okay.
It also does tie down to why we started the podcast
Yes.
in the first place.
Yes.
It's primarily a creative outlet.
Yes.
It's like, oh, what can we do to let this creative juice and do something about it?
Yeah.
That's exactly why the podcast started.
Yeah, because our main idea or our main reason for starting it was not to put it public, if I may say so myself. But it was just nice getting feedback from people. So we're
Yeah.
like, okay, fine. We'll
It's like
put it
mostly your
outside.
friends.
Mostly my friends, your
Mhm.
friends, Motorist people. It was just like, you know how people upload it. Our main goal was not like to get new subscribers, new
Yeah.
people. It was just to let our thoughts and minds
somewhere.
and this is where we landed. And also, some books are Kenyan, and maybe okay, what I've learned about myself is maybe I'm not so open at critiquing books, especially of
That's a good
Kenyan
point.
authors
Mhm.
out like that. So also in my mind, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm critiquing this book, but in one way or another, because it's a small town, small country,
Mhm.
tutapatana to will I have the guts to
Face you, yeah.
and say these are the how I truly felt about your
The
book.
book, yeah.
Also, as an aspiring writer, would I want people
Uko more
to-
empathetic.
I'm more empathetic
Yeah.
to the writers out there.
I get that because there are so many things that we have had in our notes that
Yeah.
haven't made the cut to the next
Exactly.
to the public episode just because of that ile empathy. I could easily meet you at Naivas
Yeah.
buying milk with your 3 children and I'm there. I said that your font is the ugliest I've ever seen. I can't do that. Yeah,
You
so
can't, yeah.
I understand that as well where you're coming from. Higher. Another thing that we can talk about is that what have you enjoyed the most from recording this podcast,
Honestly, nothing.
if anything?
Jokes.
The way I gasp.
I knew it. That's a joke. Of course, I've enjoyed so many things.
Women are rough on the highway.
I'm joking.
Ningechukua tu microphone nichukue hizi vitu za mturi niende home nikublock nashangaa user not available on Instagram.
Remember, cannot
Mimi na
be reached.
Brandon teaching me his ways.
Change up at
Line busy kila saa.
I'm busy. But honestly, I've liked the banter and conversation we've had together. It's been lovely. Also hearing your point of view. Also, like converting you to a reader, which was one of the main goals when we started this.
Literally on the
podcast.
bio.
Yeah. Has been such a joy to witness.
Yeah, you've contributed.
There are some
to growth.
books that sijamaliza na Sharon amemaliza, or rather amemaliza most parts
More than you.
higher. How
The tables are turning.
the tables are turning, but
Yeah.
that has been lovely to watch.
Yeah.
Also just talking about books because there was a
Which you
time
like, yeah.
before I joined the book club.
Mm-hmm.
of which this year I haven't been really active on it.
Deadbeat book club member.
Yeah. You read a book, then you have so many things to say, or not so many things at that. And you're like, okay, fine. Sasa nifanyaje? Now we have a podcast where I can calm me up about it for at 10 minutes. And that has been lovely.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed that I'm not really a yapper.
Guy, let me tell you. I've had this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Kitambo. Nikakwambia, I'm also not a yapper. Ukasema, I beg to disagree, madam.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. I don't think I am. It's just on the podcast because like a podcast is about to we are literally supposed to speak. And I think pia many of the books, at least half of them, kama sasa episode yako na Anne na says it was mostly them telling you about the book because you hadn't read the book. Same case na ile story, the short story that we did. Yes, 2017 or something. I was mostly talking about it because you hadn't read it, or you had read it. Another book that you actually mostly talked about, that I mostly talked about, ilikuwa actually, there's a book or something. I don't think you're a yapper. I know that one I agree. Yeah, but I think I'm also not a yapper. I know yapper.
Which book? Are you not a yapper?
I'm not a yapper.
You are, Sharon. Just accept it.
No. Imagine I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I'm not a yapper because podcast ni a yapper. Like you sometimes you can see people talk and you're like, yeah, umeongea sana, shut. Shanice, please. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
But I enjoy talking about books. So,
and also our episodes are not that long.
Exactly.
They're like the highest we've recorded is like 40 minutes.
50 something.
Ile confessions.
Yeah.
But the rest in an average 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, we're just talking for 30 minutes and it's two of us. So it's like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes each.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're not yappers.
And you?
Or what I liked about the book.
At the book.
The recording. I think it's also the same as you. It's first of all, number one is me getting to read.
Yeah.
I was a reader kitambo nikiwa high. So I don't know when I stopped. Pesetas, mimi, hivi. I don't know when I stopped, but I had bought books, as I said in the very first episode, when we were reading about the poet. I had bought books in my house in like April.
Yeah.
Last year. And I hadn't read any of them. And that includes The Seven Husbands. So me having been on the podcast, like now I have to read it to talk about it. It's like, now I'm getting back to the groove of reading. Yeah. I remember I saw one of your opinions somewhere saying that, reading a good book might actually revive your love for reading. So that's a good thing. So I think I am now finding my footing in reading. And it's also very good because I'm going to be reading full time for the next 1 year.
What did you do without me?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And so me, obviously, as I've said, like getting into the groove of reading, now I think I'm going to be consistently making the effort to at least read.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first one. And the second one is hanging out with my friends. Because last year, as you said earlier on, we had these monthly dates that we used to go take a walk or whatever to Karura. And this year we wanted to replace it with something else. And what a better idea than to start a podcast. Obviously, there are many other things that you can do.
Yeah.
But the podcast worked for us. Because I think I've seen you too many times this year.
True.
I mean, literally this week I've met you 3 times. We're going to be together tomorrow again.
Yeah.
But being able to hang out with my friends, including Muturi and also your friends who have come over and have all been very kind to me, is like, oh, this is nice. I think I like this. Nice. Yeah, so that's the second one. The third one, I think there was another one that I don't remember. Yeah, I think it's just that. Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. And also like, I don't know, kuona time lapse baadaye ya kurecord is just like, nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think those are the two ones that I have enjoyed.
Yeah.
Anything that you didn't enjoy? Or that you would have rather had it differently? I don't think I can think of any.
The choices of books. I'd change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can be more like enjoy the reading
Exactly.
process more.
But also, that does not mean I'll change it.
Yeah.
I'd just choose different books in the coming days. After tukikuja the next season, I'd choose books that I know I'd enjoy and also you'd enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Just hakuna kuforce issues this time.
yeah, hakuna kuforce
Because
some books.
tulijifunga kwa hii genre
Yeah.
that we really didn't like, but we discovered much later. I think so.
And I think your story I could discover much later. I don't know if you knew these things about yourself before you actually started to we started to read the book.
Honestly, no.
So I think that has also helped. It's like trial and error.
Yeah, because it has helped me learn to know the books that I like.
That you like, yeah. And the writing style.
And the writing style, exactly.
The font, nakadhalika. Oh, that's good. You're welcome.
Thank you.
As if I'm the one providing the service. I don't know. What would I change? I wish we would we would not have to take a break. Because now I'm just like, okay, what am I going to, when like having a podcast is like, oh, you can easily say, oh yeah, I have a hobby.
Forward to that.
Yeah. And you have a hobby. Excuse me. Now I'm just like, oh, what hobby?
Like? What do I normally do?
What did I do before?
I have one more thing. I think we'd be consistent in our.
We have been.
If I would change something, I would be consistent in posting.
We're gonna post how often. I think the last 2 months ilienda.
Because we have like 3, 4 podcasts that we've not
posted.
May I ask why? I think it's life generally, honestly.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Of course we'll put it out. Because nataka, like the first one, please guys pray for me that nipate stima kwangu, because I'm planning to edit an episode and let it out tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So that at least nianze
clear clutter.
Yeah. Also, it might mean one thing, that I might not let you listen to it.
What do you mean get to listen to it?
It's, our process, how we listen to it.
Oh yeah.
It out. But because of that, Ama you'll listen to it then.
The episode of which book?
There's Sinners, there's
Sinners, I don't think
there's I think 2 more.
Yeah, there's 2 more. We shall try on whatever. Yeah. But I agree. I think I wish we would have been more consistent as well.
But also, life is not black and white. Like, as much as we'd love that, life happened
to also work
to us also.
Yeah.
So we kind of
go all over the place.
Yeah, on that front. But nothing
grand.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 33 minutes. Can we talk about the top books that we discussed? I already asked that. The books that we liked. The books that we have talked about the books that we liked. Which one did you not like? Or should we not mention that? Oh, okay, so go and listen to every episode independently and listen to us. Tell us what you think we did not like or liked. Yeah, I think that's all.
This was such a nice run. What will happen to the podcast, you might ask? Even us, we don't know.
Kwa neema zake Mwenyezi Mungu.
So far, it's just a comma, not a first. Remember that line? Yeah, over 25.
My Lord. Oh, by the way, they also said. Kashangaa nilisikia wapi? Kumbe ni hapo.
Yeah, so we just put a comma, a pause.
Comma.
Short Tanya.
Pauline. Hey, my Lord.
We just put a small pause on this podcast. I know what I'll be doing in terms of books.
Which is it? What will you be doing?
I'll be reviewing books that I've read on TikTok.
Yeah, I really like that format.
Thank you. Before we decide on what will happen with this podcast, we might be recording on different areas in the world with Sharon. Who knows? There's so many possibilities with this.
Yeah.
But one thing I know for sure, I don't know whether Sharon knows, is clearly this is not an end in this
Yeah.
podcasting, because we have to host Georgie at some point.
It's the goal.
It's coming. I know it's coming. I know we'll host him. We'll be in a much better position
We
in
will
terms
be.
of studio with Kaizo.
Kumbaya lunch.
Buy lunch.
Akuje na securities.
Hey, brother.
Kuna shanga bana we nani bouncer.
Yeah. And for sure, our love for books has not stopped because this podcast has stopped. We'll
Hey,
continue.
that's a nice statement.
Wise, it's giving wisdom.
I know.
Yeah. So, you have anything else to say?
No, I think I also want to shout out my personal podcast. I never have.
Finally.
Finally.
Mm.
Guys, I have a personal podcast, although it's not about...
Kwanza, I remember there's a time. Sharon
Najua
amekasirika.
kusema. Usitaje mtu.
Sawa.
Nilikuwa triggered hiyo siku though. Anyway, so as I said, I do have a personal podcast, and like our podcast now, I started to record it with one goal in mind, and that goal eventually happened because I was applying for a scholarship, and the scholarship expected you to have contributed to like media or something. That's when I started my podcast, because I already had written content on my personal platforms. It's called Plates and Policies. It's a very agricultural, it's a very niche industry event. Niche industry. Nafikiria nini kazi. No, I am talking about.
Yeah.
Na sina kazi. It's
Yeah.
a very
Unemployed gang.
It's a very niche industry, because I work in the agricultural industry, and naturally the conversations for me was mostly about the industry that I work in. So if you are in the agricultural industry as well, or if you're just curious about what things are happening in the agricultural industry in Kenya, do have a look at the Plates and Policies podcast. I'll beg Stacy to add the link.
I'll add the link on the description box. Fear
Yeah.
not, fret not.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
But yeah, that's all I have to say.
And congratulations on your
Thank you so much.
scholarship. Why are you laughing?
Mi nafaa kwenda shule sasa. I'm Jenny. As someone who has struggled to read for a long time, I'm so shocked that I want to go back to school full time to
It will
read.
be a good
Deadlines are 11. That's the only reason I wanted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope to see you around. As Stacy said, it's a comma, not a stop. I don't know why that statement is so funny. It's just like giving sarcasm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do let us know what you think about today's episode. Let us know which episode that you enjoyed so far from the 13 or so that we've done.
Also, wish us good luck, good vibes.
Oh, okay, sawa. Yes, wish us the best.
Wish us the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
That's it from us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everything. Bye.
I love you.
Love you, mean it. See ya.